Welcome to Candidate Bootcamp, and congratulations on considering a run for office. My name is Sarah, and I'm going to walk you through the basic training orientation and course overview so that you have a fair sense of all the content before you dive in. We strongly suggest that you take the entire course all the way through, which will give you a solid foundation of knowledge and the big picture view of the many components of a winning campaign. Remember, you can always revisit segments of this bootcamp as needed down the road. While this training is sequential, real campaigns rarely are. New challenges pop up requiring strategic shifts and unforeseen twists and turns along the way. This could affect managing, fundraising, messaging, and organization. We designed Candidate Bootcamp to prepare you for the unknown. You will be better equipped to stay on offense and run a campaign that you will be proud of with this training under your belt. We divided the training into two parts, preparation and execution. And along the way, we will direct you to a variety of checklists and worksheets that will be designed to help you accomplish the various tasks and goals, and you can complete these on your own time. Let's start by taking a peek at the campaign timeline. Here, you'll see how we divided the segments and defined various phases of a campaign. Of course, all campaigns are different, but most candidates start where you may be right now, in the consideration phase. We'll revisit this timeline throughout the training so that you have a sense of where your campaign is and how it may evolve. As I mentioned, there are two parts to this training, preparation and execution, and both are critical. Throughout these training videos, from time to time, you'll see these icons flash on the screen. We use them to highlight information we think is of particular value to your campaign. You'll know when we're giving you an unfair advantage over your opponent, reducing your financial and election risk, or providing you insider tips and tricks that the pros use for their clients. So you might think that we're spending a lot of time on the preparation section, and that's because we are. It is the most underappreciated phase of any campaign, and without proper planning and forethought, campaigns collapse before they even get off the ground. In the preparation section, we will tackle the process of considering a run. We will provide worksheets for you to test your knowledge of the office you're seeking, and we will help you map out your network, think through the time commitment and the budget necessary to run this campaign. Next, we'll go over the campaign structure and organization. If you've never run a campaign before, there are some specific segments of the campaign that will provide you knowledge of what is to come, and it's good to hit these early on in the process so that you know what's around the corner. The exploratory phase comes next. Finally, we start talking about the issues pertaining to your candidacy, the political environment surrounding your race, and those pesky details like finance laws and filing requirements. The last segment in the preparation segment is the pre-announcement. Here, we help you think through your campaign branding, messaging, and budget. Announcing your candidacy before mapping out these components would be sloppy and expose your campaign to numerous potential pitfalls. Now let's take a sneak peek at the execution section of this course. Many people might assume the campaign starts on announcement day. But, as you've seen, so much organizing has to take place prior to this moment. And, depending on the size and budget of your campaign, announcement day could simply mean sending out a press release, or it might require a speech in front of an enthusiastic crowd. Once you've announced, we need to dig in a little bit into the actual components of the campaign. In this section, we will share specific campaign tactics and help you prioritize important decisions having to do with infrastructure, communications, media, fundraising, and your campaign timeline. This is a really in-depth section. We will start with growing support, which is a very significant part of what we need to accomplish. Identifying potential supporters, organizing the data around those potential supporters, and turning out the vote on Election Day is the name of the game. This isn't rocket science, but it's mandatory work. Have you heard the saying GOTV? It's not a television station. It's the name of the game on Election Day. And unless you have paid staffers top to bottom on your campaign who have been trained to do this work, you need to start thinking months in advance on how you're going to turn out your supporters on Election Day. Finally, in the last section, we'll wrap this up with a discussion about what to do the day after the election. Win or lose, we'll share our thoughts on how to maximize the great work you've done and set yourself up for future success. So let's review. So far, we've talked about every single component of a campaign. We haven't gotten into the details yet, but you can start to see how these campaigns will come together. Don't get overwhelmed, and understand that if you see this entire course through, you'll have a very good understanding of how to set up, how to think through, and how to prepare for anything along the campaign trail. Except for this orientation, each of our videos ends with a series of homework assignments. These include a variety of resources like checklists, sample scripts, worksheets, and ebooks that provide you with additional details and tools that will help you develop and fine-tune your campaign strategies and tactics. So that concludes our bootcamp orientation. There is so much more to come. In the next video, we'll answer the question, are you ready to run? We'll ask you about the office you're seeking, who is in your core network, and we'll want you to think about the time commitment necessary to win. We want to remind those of you who belong to our members-only Facebook group that you can head over there at any time and ask our team and your peers any questions that you might have.